Welcome back, everybody. So last time on my channel, we were playing Generation Zero. We got to chapter 5, I believe, of that series. So we're going to put that on pause, and we're going to move to State of Decay 2. So this is going to be an all-new community with all-new survivors. No survivors from previous communities I've used. None of that at all. So we are going to show you how to survive, basically the best ways that you can do that, and how to place all your outposts and everything like that, so that you have the best chance of surviving on different maps and things like that. So we're going to delete this community. Oh, wait. So, we're going to start a brand new community. So, you can either replay tutorial or you can skip it. For me, I'm going to do a skipped tutorial, and I'm just going to show you all the different plays. So, I'm just going to hit random, and basically, we're just going to take what we get for the map. Difficulty, you have Standard Zone, Dread Zone, and Nightmare Zone. So, I'm going to do the Dread Zone, so it's not so easy, but not super hard, so it gives you a challenge, but to the point where even as a beginner, you can technically get the hang of it. And this just gives you, resources are scarcer and larger hordes and deadlier zombies, things like that. But if you're new to the game, just go Standard Zone. For Nightmare Zone, like, I wouldn't do it until you beat Standard and got a hang of Dread. So we're gonna go in the middle. So for new players, at the bottom of the screen you see tips and everything like every other game. A lot of them are, you should know already, but a lot of them no. So here I can use past communities, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to skip that. And we're going to pick survivors. So all the golden ones are survivors from my past communities. So I'm not going to use any of those because I've already maxed out most of their stats. So for this, I'm just going to use brand new, or try to at least, brand new characters. Oh my god, apparently I can't. Ooh, there we go. One sec. Okay, so, cardio, wits, fighting, shooting, those are your 4 main skills. And the 5th slot is for community skills that you either use for helping to build or resources or things like that within the actual community. So if we move over to Marcos, he has utilities. One thing you want to look at is under the name, you see the red heart, that's your health, and the blue running character, which is your stamina. You want to have somebody who has high stamina and somewhat high health, because the higher your stamina, the more you can run. And if you ever get into a situation where you need to run, you'll have the stamina to do so. Plus, if you're fighting a horde and a lot of zombies all at once, your stamina won't be depleted as much. which means you can actually take out more zombies than trying to run away. So just be wary of that. Under the traits, you'll see a bunch of different things. So hard to kill, roadkill cook, things like that, and it just gives you little details of extra things that will help affect your community for either better or worse. So we're just gonna look at the best ones like off the bat, and then we'll look further into their character traits and skills. So you don't have to pick people who have the 5th skill. You can leave that blank, and you can actually get books and that can give you skills. So that's why sometimes it's always good to have a blank character like this. For me, I try and take that 5th skill, because later on you can always get characters who don't have it. Or I like to have 2 characters that have the 5th skill and then 1 who doesn't. So, and it all depends on kind of their stamina, health, and traits. So this one, Sophia, is reckless, so it doesn't really work out in my favor. Rifle collector, confident, I'll take that one. So I can always give a trait later on when I find a book. Mechanics for all your cars, you can get all your fixing vehicles and things like that with the garage that you can build in your base. Medicine's always good to have. Gardening's good to have. Cooking's okay, but not necessarily a need. Utilities, anything to do with the construction is awesome. Chemistry's good. So we're gonna do Dawn, Aaron, and yeah, we'll go with Laura. So we kind of have, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Whatever. We'll just keep it like this. So, not a big deal if you fuck up either, because it just makes things more interesting. Like, if the character has something that brings morale down, just gives you that extra challenge to try and figure out a way to bring your morale up. So,
and we're empty. Again.
So, whose turn is it to find more fuel?
Not me. Last time I had to outrun some angry raiders.
I have a better idea. We could settle down here instead of moving on.
I'll admit, it looks better than the last couple of towns we came through.
Now that you mention it, it does feel kind of homey.
It's settled. This town is where we'll set up our new base.
So
We just
reminder,
have to find a
guys,
spot
you
that's
can
defensible, maybe with some room to expand.
you can ask to join my Discord server, which will have a bunch of information, news, streaming updates, things like that on it. Follow, like, share, all of that. Oh, that's cool. So, always check the back of your truck for stuff like that, because sometimes it will spawn a tank of gas in it, and then you can just fill it up and drive. If not, you never have to go far.
That's a screamer.
For your first base.
Let's not make it upset.
Oh. Okay.
Now, what if I could?
All that place needs is a neon sign saying, "Search me."
Ed Cabron inbound.
One of the first things you should do is always scout by using billboards and water towers and everything like that, just so you can get a lay of the land. Figure out what's around you, what resources there are. Other vehicles like that. Oh, it doesn't even take that long
That
either.
might be a nice place for the family to settle down.
Not a huge
Okay,
pain.
nothing more to see here.
So always make sure you check in the top left corner for containers searched in any area you're in. Now, don't forget that there are places where it won't tell you if you can search things there. So, like, over there by the trees and stuff, you can find containers and stuff. And in cars, things like that. So, always be careful about around the ladders. If you go towards it too quickly, you'll actually jump off of it. So, before you get to it, I tend to slow down a bit. Just so that, you don't jump down, because you will lose health for that. Always be aware of your surroundings. Like, always look around. It's a nice thing about third-person games is you can actually look behind you while you're running straight forward. So... it's always nice to have a couple followers behind you. Or at least one follower, because they cover your back, and then you can use them as a distraction. So things like this, like I was saying, here you're not going to have the search containers thing, but in buildings and stuff you will. So just be wary that you can find things pretty much anywhere, not just in buildings. Just stay aware of that.
Okay, now this shouldn't take long. It wouldn't take much to turn this place into a nice home.
When searching a house, you can either go room by room and search the rooms that you've been in while you're doing it, or search the whole house first and then
It looks
scatter.
pretty safe. I think we should claim this place and move in.
I like that idea.
Our first priority has to be gathering materials. We'll need them to improve this place.
You know, it'd be great if you could go scout out a place for us.
So, with your loadout, you always have a close combat weapon, which is anything from chef's knife, combat knife, to screwdriver. You'll always have one equipped and they don't break, so that's nice. You also have a melee weapon, either bladed or blunt. Blunt is better for taking out crowds, and bladed is better for decapitations of limbs and heads. So your choice. Blunt are heavier, but they are good if you have 2 or more zombies coming after you at one time, because you can knock them all down at the same time. So just keep all that in mind. Yeah. So, like I said,
Feel like tagging
always
along?
enlist a follower if you can.
After you.
So it's always better to have a follower than not have a follower. Use your map constantly, so you can use it to find other survey points, and you can look on the map to find different resources. So here, food, building supplies, other stuff. So who knows what's in that. Vehicles, always search vehicles, and if you can, bring them back to your base, because you can actually store rucksacks in them and they won't despawn or glitch out. So it's always good to have an extra vehicle or two to keep rucksacks in, because then you can have them for emergencies. So before you do anything, always use your characters to clean up places, repair facilities, things like that while you're out scavenging. That way you can, once you get materials and things like that, you can start building right away. You don't have to wait for that to start.
I'm going out. Won't be long.
Beware freaks, so screamers, bloaters, juggernauts, all of that. For the first,
Everyone watch your butts. Don't know what's
little
out here.
while. So the first, half an hour, 45 minutes of gameplay, you shouldn't run into juggernauts, ferals, or bloaters. But you will run into screamers pretty early on, like you saw. So just be wary. So, and even if you don't think you can use it, still take it. Don't leave it. Always grab things, because you can always sell them to other groups and get prestige. So you can buy things from them, and you can get things you can actually use. So even if you don't use snacks and things like that, they're not
Watch
worth a
out,
lot of
they're
prestige,
everywhere.
but anything's better than nothing, right? So just keep on using that. So, always keep an eye out on your stamina when you're in close combat. So, as you can see, I'm currently using a bladed weapon, and my partner here, Megan, is using a blunt, so she can knock them down and I can decapitate them. Always search around. It's always nice having somebody watching your back while you're scavenging, because they can actually take out zombies that may attack you while you continue to search. And not only that, but you can swap to that character after you fill the current character's backpack full of items, so you don't have to return home as often.
I may have just spotted a plague heart. I can see us putting up. It's going well so far over here.
Good to hear.
Oh, I really hope that still runs. I see a horde over there. I see a screamer. Okay, nothing more to see here.
Oh, especially off of the cell towers here. Always go slow towards the ladder, because a fall from that height can actually kill your character, and that's it. You can't get that character anymore. And especially in the beginning, you want to try and keep your characters, not kill them off. So, because they get exhausted
Not exactly
and they
what I
lose
was
health
hoping
and stuff
for.
really easily
Nothing
early
here.
on.
Let's hope the next
So-
one's a winner.
For me, the first, hour, well, first 20 minutes is basic setup of the game. The next 20 minutes is basically surveying the areas closest to home. So I got this tower, this tower, this tower. So those are the closest to my home. And then eventually I'll start driving around the map once I get fuel to other ones and start spreading out from my position. So now that I've done that, my next step is to start gathering the resources my community desperately needs right now. So currently that's meds, ammo, fuel. I'll need more building supplies, but the ones that have 0 currently are the ones that I definitely want to try and look into right away. If you can, always try and sneak up on single enemies. Just because it's a stealthier kill, and you use less stamina. Oh. So I gotta find fuel, and then I can get all these vehicles that I'm finding. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go home, drop all this stuff in my current inventory, and then we're gonna go back out and we're gonna search for rucksacks and fuel, especially, so I can get a vehicle, so I can get even more, bring more stuff home. Vehicle is your best friend because A, it can carry anywhere from 4 or more slots in it. And for those slots, you can get rucksacks. Rucksacks are one of the best things you can stock up on. Okay, so meds, ammo, fuel. So first, we're gonna go to this gas station here. Our best bet for fuel. And then we will get a vehicle up and running. So in standard edition, you will have pretty much anything on the map will have something in it. In Dread Zone, you have places that have already been scavenged and you won't be able to find anything in it, so it makes it a little harder. And in Dread Zone, things that have already been searched that you won't find anything in is most likely military caches, ammo sheds, gun shops, things like that. Those will have already been scavenged a lot of the time. So finding any kind of firearm, ammo, things like that is a bit more difficult on this setting. So here I'm really lucky because I managed to find just a basic revolver and some ammo, so that's always good to have. You don't want to shoot. You don't want to be wasting your ammo. So you want to kind of use it for emergency only. So especially for bloaters, you don't want to try and kill them from close combat. You want to shoot them from afar. So save a lot of bullets for bloaters. Ferals, you will definitely want to have a couple of bullets for while it's far away, and then once it gets closer you can take it out close combat. So just keep in mind, don't be shooting off.
You're welcome.
Don't be shooting off all your ammo, and you can talk to your follower and give rucksacks so that you can continue collecting rucksacks. So while your character is searching, just, you know, be mindful of your surroundings. Keep a look around.
Well, I don't hear anything lurking about.
Always use windows. Always look inside a building before you enter it. Places like warehouses, they don't have windows a lot
I
of
know
time.
someone who'd love this.
So just be really cautious when you go into places that don't have windows on the bottom floor. No, because here you can look in and out. You can see if there's zombies, and you can count how many. Basically, you recon it, gather intel before you actually enter a place. You're gonna want to do that, especially when it comes to the play cards.
Can't find something every time.
So now that we have fuel, we're gonna head back home. But we're gonna actually stop, take out this screamer first. So, because screamers just bring more zombies around, and you don't really want that if you can help it. So, just keep quiet as much as you can. Remember, everything helps build up your skills. So, doing little sprints help your stamina level. Searching things for your wits, things like that, right? So just keep in mind of that. So for screamers, you kind of want to start further back when you're sneaking up on them. And worst comes to worst, you shoot it from afar. I don't really want to do that just because I don't have a lot of ammo. So if you
Glad that's taken care of.
Sneaking up on things before you fire off any shots. So just remember to sprint. You can sprint around zombies for the most part, and they won't follow you.
I have to
like
slow
that.
down.
So, and as you keep building up your stamina, you will be able to run longer because it actually upgrades with every star you get. So,
There we go. That's all of it.
we're gonna keep, actually, you know what, we'll deposit that. But now that we have a jerry can, we're actually gonna go back and we're going to get our vehicle. So, that's a horde. We're just gonna kind of run around it. Hopefully it ignores us. If we ignore it, maybe it will ignore us. This was the first map that I played when I first got this game. So I'm actually, I know pretty well where, I want things to be placed for all my outposts and things like that. This is a relatively large map area that's kind of spread out. So you got to be cautious where you're placing your outposts. You want it to be in the most useful place. And later on, we'll be talking about outposts. Probably not in this episode, but maybe the next one we'll get to it. Oh, I put all my gas cans away. Damn it. Okay. So clearly I'm having an off day with this game. But that's okay. We're doing fine. Not a big deal. It's not like we ran halfway across the map. So. For the most part, you can actually outrun a zombie. If you run far enough, you can usually lose it. So if it's just a straggler chasing after you and you have a lot of stamina, I won't even bother killing it unless you have to. Which means if it's going to either attract other zombies or it was going to follow you really close to home. So see, that one stopped there. So that's not a big deal. Always check around cars and things. You can find luggage outside of it,
At least
and
it's not
even
nothing.
sometimes the car itself will have chance to scavenge. So, you'll see this vehicle is smoking, which means we're going to have a toolkit to fix it. So, but not a big deal. Just try not to hit anything. And, you should be fine. So.
You think we can pick up the pace? Get rid of that one.
So that's another thing with vehicles. You gotta be careful because they attract zombies because they're loud. So, either run over zombies near the place where you are trying to scavenge and you brought a vehicle, or just get ready for a fight, because you'll attract them. So, see, in wherever you've been, you'll find more zombies after you've driven through. So now it's starting to get dark. Now, in-game versus real-time, day and night last about an hour in real life. So night's an hour, day's an hour, give or take. So it's closer to probably 45 minutes per, but all depends too. But for the most part, it's an hour. So see, I've run out of stamina here. So you have to kind of stop moving and let it... Oh, no! Let it fill itself up with the stamina. So always make sure you have a gas can in the vehicle, because you don't want to get stranded without gas, especially if you have a bunch of rucksacks or a bunch of stuff you need for your community.
10 points!
So, making sure there's nothing in that. We will take the gas can. Throw that in there. We're gonna check.
Of course I'll go with you.
You wanna give it a go?
Try and switch out your characters, your survivors, just so it gives them a rest. So you can see how much health and stamina they have. So they do get tired and they do get exhaustion and get hurt. So you just want to be aware of that. Because it sucks if you get stuck somewhere and
You're the boss. I've got your back.
Vamos.
So at dark you can do one of two things. You can either scavenge close to home in the early part of your game. So that'd be all of these places here, here, and this is technically close here. Or you can actually stay back at your community and you can run around in circles, boost your stamina, things like that. for me, I'm going to get this vehicle, and then I'm going to actually scavenge around here, this area, just to see if I can get some meds and stuff. Knock something else off my to-do list here. So if you see at the bottom left of my screen, there's the map, like my mini map. The blue bar is my stamina, the red one's my health, and as you can see, I'm actually a little bit injured. So, and every time you get hurt, that little bit of injury will actually increase. And I don't have it yet, but you'll see that you can actually get exhaustion, and that will show up on your stamina bar, which actually
Thank
makes
goodness.
whatever
Something we can
health
use.
or stamina lower than you can actually use. So I've had it where I've had like no stamina to use because my character was so tired. So just be wary of that and cautious. So, and try and divvy up the your exploration with different characters. So this character that I'm using now, Laura, if you go over to her stats, I've actually almost gotten golden cardio and wits. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to switch to Aaron,
I've got your back.
and then I'm going to help boost his stats now. So, just because that way you can level up all your characters evenly.
Almost garbage.
So watch any zombies on the floor like that, because if you're not careful, they're actually still gonna get you. So like I said earlier, warehouses like this, they don't have a lot of windows, but what they do have, you can usually search pretty good in.
All right, let's see what we got.
In places that you've cleared, zombies
Nothing.
won't spawn in that area for a limited time. So you can kind of take a breather. But it doesn't mean that once you've cleared a place
Nailed
that
it,
zombies
motherfuckers.
won't come in. Because they will, if you've made a lot of noise. Like if you rush searching through a container, or if you're shooting off your gun, or accidentally throw fireworks or something. Things like that. So just be wary of that. Oh, there you are. I could hear her, but I could not see her. I was like, where the hell are you?
I think I ought to rest.
You're fine. So,
Okay, that's heavy.
always throw rucksacks and heavy gear, so like facility mods. Those are always heavy. Things like that. Like I said, I'm gonna help Aaron max out his stuff, which means what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna
Vamos.
switch, pick up all the things that he's picked up. That he's searched. Things like that. So that way there's just more space.
I've got your back.
So just that way I can keep using upgrading his wits. So you can tell the difference between plague zombies and regular zombies because regular zombies have the orange yellow eyes, where plague zombies have red. So if you, especially in the dark, if you're ever concerned on what type of zombie is around the corner or whatever, just wait for it to turn around, look at its eyes and stuff, and then you can tell, okay, do I want to get super close to it or not. So in nurseries and stuff, you can find a lot of seeds. Seeds are good for when you get a garden. In bigger bases, you can actually build a farm type thing, and that yields more crops. And you can also upgrade it
Somebody else got here
yield
first.
medicine. So. Okay, so now that that's all out of the way, you can actually start building. Well, not really, because I don't have enough. I don't have enough materials, but I have some materials in the truck, so we'll use those, and then we'll start building once we get back to base.
You see that one?
Always remember to dodge. I know it's hard to in the moment too, but once you get muscle memory of dodging, use it,
Looks empty.
because it can be one of the best things to help you avoid a head-on attack like I do. Especially when a zombie's coming at you, you can dodge around it.
I'm carrying a bit much right now.
So you can see that zombie over there, that's plague zombie, because you can see the red eyes.
Órale.
That's almost as much as I can carry.
So things that can't be stacked are weapons, facility mods, toolkits, and valuable items. There's a few others, but those are the main ones that you see, other than rucksacks. Rucksacks can't be stacked either, but you can usually, meds you can stack to 3, along with consumables, ethanol, scraps of circuitry, parts. They can all be stacked to 50 or 100. I think 100 in your inventory or something like that, 99, something like that. So as you can see, with this character, my stamina,
You got a
the
plague
Zeds,
muerto here.
that means I actually have exhaustion. With plague zombies, you don't want them to touch you,
I'll be right behind you.
because that gives you plague infection. So just be careful with that. We're gonna hit this over here, and then we're actually gonna head back.
If I let that screamer see me, I'm gonna have company.
I'd rather get the attention of the couple zombies that are close to the screamer than have the screamer draw in a bunch of zombies. So just remember that. If it's between taking out the screamer and drawing in a couple
Those are goods.
versus letting the screamer scream, take out the screamer. It just makes more sense that fighting off 2 or 3 zombies versus a whole horde of them. So, especially when it comes to infestations. So that's a horde there, so we're gonna hurry up and skedaddle. Best way to take out a horde is to either draw them back to your base where you have a bunch of survivors so you can all take it out together, or get in a vehicle and run over them. One of the best things that I do is to actually just run over them. It does destroy the vehicle if you run over too many of them. However, it's personally I find it worth it. It's also kind of satisfying, you know? Open all the car doors, you know. Take out all the zombies. So when you're in a vehicle, it makes noise, so you're gonna always wait a few seconds before you get out of your vehicle. Draw them in close, and then you can take them out real quick. Gonna go over to this billboard here. Now, plague zombies actually can sense you, smell you, see you further than regular zombies. So just be wary of that. I tend to like to take out plague zombies as much as possible, just because then you can also pick up plague samples.
Yeah, nothing more to see here.
So we're gonna head back to the truck, because we don't have a whole lot of room in our inventory anyway, so there's no point in trying to search that the vet's office, I think that's there, the medical facility for the meds, because what is that? Free clinic, same difference. So now, trucks are a great vehicle because they usually have 6 slots, and you can carry like 6 people at one time. Now, when driving off-road like this, be wary of where you're driving, because you can get caught on rocks and things like that if you go over them. So just be careful where you're driving. There's been multitude of times where I've actually driven into a bunch of rocks. Oh my god. Where the fuck is that screamer?
Watch out. That's a freak.
Cállate!
So, we're just gonna throw this here for now. We're gonna move this. And we're actually gonna take this truck here. We're gonna move it to our parking space. Now, every base will have parking space, either 1 or 2, sometimes so usually 2, and then you can actually get other bases that have 3 or 4. So if you bring a vehicle to a parking spot, you can actually deposit things straight from your vehicle or inventory.
It's time to get
so
building.
Here, it goes
Either a
straight
workshop or an
into,
infirmary would be a good place to start.
so I can do that with all of this, and that's how I unload all my gear all at once. So, and then I can do
Órale.
this character too. And at the same time,
Guess who's
swap
back?
out my characters. Swap out characters.
What's going on?
Hi there.
So now we can start building. Now, one thing that personally believe you should always have is a medical facility. So always build either an infirmary and a workshop. Infirmary first because it lets you craft bandages and plague cure, and also eventually can help you heal over time while your character's at your base.
All right, lead the way.
So, trucks actually make more noise than little cars do. So, it's kind of up to you. What I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to fix the car. And I'm going to take that out, because we're not going super far. And you can actually, when you bring it to spots, you can... So you can actually go to the front, right by this pillar here, and you can view vehicle upgrades and grab items. So if you grab vehicle supplies, you can take out tool kits and gas cans. So, pretty good idea to have it. And then it will show up in the back of the vehicle's inventory. So as you can see here, it's actually a lot quieter. Still not silent, so you still have to be wary of your surroundings. However, it's good thing to take note of. So that's fixed up, so I can at least take out a couple zombies if I need to. Won't blow up on me. So driving at night, you have to be very careful of freaks like bloaters, because for the most part, if you're not careful, you won't even notice you're going to run into a bloater before you actually hit it. So just you know, be careful. So I've attracted quite a few. So first things first, get rid of the plague zombies, just because they can do the most damage.
Nice moves.
So always check for vehicles, because you can find some of the best stuff there when you can actually hit the friggin' thing for it to search.
My favorite.
So I'm playing solo, but you can also play multiplayer, and it's just kind of whatever your preference is. I'm a solo kind of player. Like, the only time I really play with other people is games like Battlefield, COD, GTA, things like that.
I I think we're
but
alone.
when it comes to games, but most of my games are actually solo based. So Fallout, Skyrim, those are my two major games that I play. Two of my absolute favorite games, actually. So
Whoever lost this don't need it now.
but with Stay Decay, I do play multiplayer, but for this video, this is basically just how to set up an entire game by yourself with using only your survivors, not multiplayer. But at any time, you can invite somebody to join you. And if you really want to, you can go to somebody else's map and you can actually gather supplies for yourself on their map. So you can save resources on your map by going to theirs.
Another successful project under our belt.
So, but again, just kind of depends your preference. So always look around buildings, because sometimes it will be here, and always check the roof. The amount of times I found things on roofs like this here, after looking around the building 50 times, because I was like, well, where is it? I couldn't have walked past it. So just, you know, keep in mind, roof is the best place to check when you've already been through the building. And it's also a good place to use as an escape from zombies. So see, I drove up here. Which means I managed to actually bring a bunch of zombies to this location. So just be wary when you're doing that.
Vamos.
You're the boss.
So, when going in buildings, I do a sweep like I do in COD or Battlefield. I go room to room with my weapon drawn. That way, if there's a freak or
I think
anything,
we're alone.
I can fire off a quick shot. Or I can use whatever weapon I have. So.
Okay, that's heavy.
I knew I saw another one in here. I'll walk right past it most times. Have to turn
If he's
myself
here,
around so
I've
I can
seen
get
it.
it.
Great. Here they come.
Órale.
This'll slow me down.
So, things that can't be stacked, I tend to give to my follower. So, facility mods, luxury items, gas cans, toolkits. But things that can be stacked, like a lot, so cases of chemicals and circuitry, those can be stacked a lot on top of each other. I'll leave in the vehicle.
I hope no one gets hurt, because we're running low on medicine.
But I'll just fill out her
You're the boss.
inventory and then we can just move on. So. Oh, excuse me. Oh, fuck. So, places like this, open areas, I like to just take out zombies like this. Just 'cause it's easier. Places like this, though, like barns and stuff, you can find a lot of zombies around this. Just because you don't think there's a lot in the field, but then there is. So. But barns are a good place to look for food and ammo. Now, one firearm I really want to get is a 50 cal. So usually the Timber Wolf is one that you can find usually everywhere. Is the Timber Wolf. That's a good one. And I use that for plague hearts. So, because 3, 4, 5 shots with the Timber Wolf, and you can take out a plague heart.
Oh, good.
Versus a
Nothing.
couple hundred bullets of any other type of
Coast looks clear.
gun. So, it's one thing I look really heavy for, and you can usually find that one in gun shops, military catches.
If he's here, I've seen it.
And sometimes you can find it in other places too, but you definitely want to look for it. And it doesn't have to just be the Timber Wolf. It can pretty much be any firearm. So I want to check here too, this area, because there's a gun shop right here. But because I'm in Dread Zone, I don't think it will. I think it will say it's already been searched. But you might as well try, right? No harm, no foul.
my favorite. Nada. Órale.
All right, lead the way.
In bushes like this and in fields, you can find honey boxes, like
Mira
beehives,
esto.
and you can find chunks of honeycomb. So, not a huge value for it, but I mean, any luxury items gives you good amount of prestige. So, and prestige is one thing that you definitely want to try and stack up on. Because then if you get a trader around, they can actually have the 50 cal Timberwolf or any other really good weapons on them. And usually that's 1,000 plus prestige. So you really want to kind of stock up on the prestige. Have to come back because I'm out of space, but it's not a big deal. So it's not like it's super far from home. So you can see my characters are starting to get exhausted, and so we're gonna have to watch that. But so there's actually military outposts behind this warehouse. So we're gonna search the warehouse. And then we're gonna search the military cache behind it.
Premises are empty. That's what I like.
Hopefully we can find some other guns, ammo. You always want to try and find guns as soon as possible, and that's even better. The large backpack, so it gives you the extra space for supplies. But you want to equip all your characters or your survivors with guns, especially when they're back at base, because they don't actually use ammo when they're firing at zombies. It's like an unlimited supply for them. So you don't actually have to give them any ammo, just a gun. And they use that to protect the base. So it's actually really helpful if you try and just, when you get all your survivors, just give them the best guns you fucking can. So. And here's the military stash behind this little warehouse. Good place to look for anything. Bullets. This is just a small one. So, the small ones usually, you can find anything from 1 to 4. In the bigger areas, you can find up to 6 to 8, depending. So, depending on which map, too, of course. This map is not a whole lot of military stashes here, but there's a few. So, we'll see if
Nothing of use.
I can find things in them. Plus, with the harder difficulty, you won't find as many of them that you can actually search still, so. It's okay, so we'll leave the car there, and we'll run back up to base here. We'll just throw the rucksacks in.
I gotta rest a sec.
And remember, you don't have to take your vehicle everywhere. I like to, in a densely housed area, I like to leave my truck or car or whatever I'm driving, and I like to leave it in the center of it, so it's easy access from all points, but that way I'm not having to drive every which way. And that's a freak. Like I said, you want to be careful of driving over a lot of zombies, but freaks like screamers, go for it.
Gotta finish it.
Don't run over bloaters, and you can't run over juggernauts, but so this is a survivalist store, which means you should be able to find some good, hopefully some ammo, guns, and rucksacks. So. One weapon I like to use is the crossbows. Love that they added the crossbows. So that's both the light and the heavy crossbows, and they're a great addition because they are actually quiet.
Looks like nobody else is home.
So you can fire them off into a herd of zombies, and you can not alert them to your presence. So you can pick them off one by one. So pile of weapon remains, keep those because you can actually break them down into parts.
Well, we've found everything we can possibly find.
So when you go into gun shops and military stashes, just make sure that you have a lot of room, because you can usually find quite a bit of things there. Yeah, so you can usually find quite a bit of stuff in military stashes and weapon shops. So whether it's a gun shop, sports shop, things like that. So I always come to the end of the line here. So this is where there's basically a barricade between this map and a different map. Because if you don't know, State of Decay 2 has 3 maps. Each one of them is rather large. So so here, 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 and here all lead you to different maps. And you can sometimes find like vehicles and stuff that have things in it. Not often, but you know, sometimes. So I'd check it out just to be on the safe side too. So, we've managed to do quite a bit of scavenging thus far. Not so much closer to home. I tend to keep those open until like I absolutely need food or gas or building materials. So I tend to keep those kind of open. But now we start to go further out. Always make sure you have gas too when you're going further out. I know I've said this before, but anything I keep repeating is just something to remind you, because the amount of times where I've gone halfway across the map and then I have to scavenge like hell because I forgot to grab a friggin' gas can. It's ridiculous. So like this amount of gas can actually get me to probably up here and back. But on the safe side, I'm gonna grab a gas can. It does take up a slot, but because I'm bringing a survivor with me, it's not as bad. So we'll head up here and then we'll come all the way back and we'll probably pick, oh shit, and then we'll probably scavenge on the way back. I always like to scavenge around survey areas, and then go out from there. So, little cars like this, A, like I said before, are quieter, but B, they're also quicker. So, another base that I really like is up here. and it's the brewery. That's right there. I like that one. I usually use that one for this map. But we'll see. I use that one, and I use one over here too. So. So see, the amount of fuel I have left in this vehicle could get me back home, but it's always good to have some extra gas. So it doesn't seem like I've done a lot for a 96-minute video, but it does take quite a bit of time to A, get your surroundings like I'm doing,
There's a potential home sweet
B,
home.
to scavenge, and C, to make sure that you can get extra rucksacks, get
Fucking hate plague hearts.
all your levels of food, fuel, ammo, meds, all of those.
I wonder if
in
it still
order.
runs.
So when it comes to the first base, I usually only have 2
That's enough looking around for
to
now.
3 vehicles at the base, because I have 2 in parking spots, and then the third I drive. And that way, because if you have anything in parking spots, when you go to a new place, they come with you, so you don't have to go back and forth. Versus if you have a dozen vehicles at one base, they don't all come with you. And it's a pain in the ass if your new base is across the map. So.
Oh, shiny.
Ooh. I like the crossbows too, because you can usually actually pick up the ammo too. If you're lucky. So, crossbows are always nice. Because A, they're silent, B, you can pick up the ammo, you know, half the time, depending. You can find ammo usually quite well. And it's really easy to make ammo too. So.
Well, it's not much.
I said we're hard enough to make it no matter what comes.
You're the boss.
Now, always make sure you leave some bolts.
Órale.
And always make sure you have an actual firearm because the crossbows take so long to reload. It's always a good idea to keep a firearm that can shoot off a couple rounds quickly for emergencies. So I use either this space as an actual home, this one right here, or there's another one right down here that I use. And it's kind of dependent on my mood and where I've already scavenged. So up here is good if I haven't scavenged this half of the map. Here is good if I haven't scavenged this half of the map. Here is good if I haven't really scavenged this half of the map. So, but yeah.
Horde moving fast!
Nope.
Get off, alright?
So if you see in the top right corner, the little counters to the 17 of 25 freaks killed and 7 of 10 hordes, there's actually a guy who gives you like bounty missions, and you can get weapons and stuff. So I've already finished one, and that was in my other game, and they actually they work over to any of the other games that you actually start. So you can finish it in one, and I'm pretty sure you can collect it in another, which isn't too bad. So as you saw on the top left, other character healed from strays, and that's because I upgraded my infirmary so that it actually, you actually get healed. You actually heal. When you're at base, so when your characters are at base, so.
Okay, nothing more to see here.
So remember guys, any questions, you can just message me, and I can always answer them. And I'm gonna put my Discord in the description, and with that you can ask questions and it can all be answered there.
Locked up tight.
So if a door is ever locked, you can find the back entrance and enter that way, or do what I just did and go in the wide open door on this side. So
Not to alarm you, but we've got a few too many infestations around here.
So when you see infestations, try and clear them as soon as possible. Early game, it's kind of sometimes gets overwhelming, but too many infestations brings your morale down, which you don't want, because then people start to get into fights really easily, which brings your morale down even more. So you just have to keep an eye on that.
You're the boss.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to take Aaron home here soon because has a good chunk of stamina depleted due to exhaustion. So we'll take him home after we're finished this. So you can see that one. It's alive still.
Can't do it.
Usually I do room by room, but it's such a big place that it's gonna get done in the order that I get it done in. Most things will spot you
Tire out lugging this shit
early
around.
on, so I mean,
This place seems chill. Gotta catch my breath. Que bueno, empty.
so actually I'm gonna leave it because back there, right in here, you can usually find quite a bit of stuff. So I'm just gonna leave this with the one less container searched, just because then it reminds me to come back. So I should be able to get back home with the amount of fuel I have. And then we're gonna have to do some evicting of some houses. We're gonna have to evict a bunch of zombies from a bunch of houses and shit. Oh. Like here. Here and here. So we're gonna have to evict the infestations.
I can't keep this up. Tire out lugging this shit around.
So she's all good right here.
See you around. I'll be right behind you. Mm-hmm. You're the boss.
So the difference between large backpacks and hiking backpacks is large backpacks are actually heavier. So I'm going to use the large backpack until I find the hiking one, and then I'll swap it out. So when dealing with infestations, always bring extra toolkits. Because I'm going to show you a better way to deal with infestations. And I like to deal with them during the day, just because I can see all of them better. But yeah. So I'm going to show you your base before we do that. So here, all your resources, as you can see, food, -3 a day, and megs, -2 a day. Ammo's good, I need more materials, fuel's okay. Parts, influence, prestige. So prestige is what you get when you play the Daybreak DLC. And you can actually spend it by calling a special trader. Influence is what you can use in this game right here, right now, with other communities and stuff. I think earlier I kept calling it prestige, but I meant influence. So I don't really use prestige a lot, but you can. And so here, population, available labor is 3 of 3. Beds, 3. So here you can see when you play Dread Zone, you automatically get -10 on your morale. But you can balance that out. You can see all your different effects. That you can see all the effects that are in use. Threat level. So you got to make sure you always have enough beds for however many people you have in your community. But other than that, not too much.
I've got your back.
So this character here is getting tired, but that's okay. Because what we're doing is kind of quick and easy for the most part. Meant to do this. So always make sure you can get max fuel before you start doing the infestation. Like big key right there. So I'm gonna start with this one here. So this one, you can see the infestations and it will show you threats. So there's 1 screamer and 6 zombies. So this one down here, 1 screamer, 6 zombies. 1 screamer, 6 zombies. But as you increase in the game, it gets harder. And eventually you'll get 2 screamers, 12 zombies. 3 screamers, 15 zombies.
Keep an eye on that creeper.
So you just gotta be aware. You wanna try and take out the screamers as soon as possible because they will just attract more and more zombies. So 6 zombies becomes 8, and then 12, and then 20, and then you have another horde, and then you have a horde on your hands. So you can go into the house. Is that this?
Enjoy peace eternal, asshole.
So that was really easy right there, because the screamer actually came out right away.
I think we're gonna need to fix that.
With these infestations cleared away, we can rest a lot easier.
So, see what I mean about the toolkits? You always want to have... Usually I have like 2, 3, 4 in my inventory, along with a couple gas cans. But for this, we'll just... So anytime you see these, try and pick them up. Plague samples, they're always good to have. That way you can make plague cure, so when you do end up going to the plague hearts, you can cure yourself.
Nice aim.
What I want to do is I want to see if I can actually take them out from up here. I don't know if I can or not, but we'll try. And like I said, we're gonna use this to scout. Oh. I just missed that screamer.
Okay, nothing more to see here.
Shit.
I was bored, so I went out and found a few things. You're welcome.
If you aim well enough, you can hit your targets from pretty far away. Just be aware of where they are moving to. That's the only problem. So see, I've managed to take out 4 of the zombies from here. And now that's all left is 2 zombies and the screamer. So oh shit. It wouldn't move. Okay, well.
We ain't going down till I give up, and that ain't happening.
Little do I. That's the problem with this.
Whew. Glad that's taken care of.
I managed to like waste all my ammo. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay. I managed to save my vehicle. So that's okay.
We might
Kinda
want to
makes
set
up
up an outpost here.
No, we do not want to set up an outpost here. Shut up. It's funny. That's one thing that I don't like is the commentary.
Thank goodness. Something we
Like,
can
I
use.
want that vehicle over there. No, you don't, because that vehicle only holds 4 things in its trunk, so it's useless. So, but, you know.
I've searched through everything here.
I always go through the rooms,
This place seems safe for now.
just so you get the white ring around it, telling you that it's clear. So, this map here, like this entire area, you can find a lot of materials in. So, which is not bad. Thought that one saw me, and I was like, oh man. See, this is the problem with driving places. When you drive places, you bring zombies with you, which sucks majorly.
Watch
Get in
out,
the
I saw a
vehicle.
plague zombie.
Thank you.
I should be
Oh.
careful of plague zombies around here.
Man. that's how you deal with that. So, oh no.
Horde is not my idea of a good time.
So, hordes of blood plague zombies, they're really good because you can usually get like 2, 3, sometimes more of the plague samples. And like I said earlier, you always want to try and get plague samples. Oh. So we're gonna quickly search this pharmacy, just to see if we can get some more meds.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any more of them. I've searched through everything here.
You gotta watch your partner, because they do run off and start like beating the shit out of things. So you gotta be careful of that. Because if you're not paying attention, then they'll actually like get a horde following them.
Maybe someone would want this.
See, all these little places that don't actually come up on the map, you can usually find something to search. So, sometimes it's out of the way, sometimes it's like this, which is really close, but just, you know, keep things like this in mind. Usually it's worth it. So, this chick's fucking stamina is like almost 0. So, we're gonna basically search this place that we didn't fully search last time. And then we're gonna go home. Oh, nice. AR-15. See, you gotta search everywhere, because usually you wouldn't think you'd find that in a trailer like that. You'd find it in a gun shop, but you can find supplies literally everywhere. It's like that whole don't judge a book by its cover. Well, you know. Don't, Okay, so see there? There. That's a fucking bloater.
Don't breathe any of that.
So, worth the bullet to take that out. 100% worth the bullet. So, we're gonna head back. We can search the house another time, but okay, so that was a feral. I don't know if you heard that yell or whatever, roar, I guess, but that's a feral. So now this point in the game, you're gonna see freaks come out. So that's the bloater juggernaut ferals. No, I didn't want that. I constantly do this too. Constantly accidentally get in the vehicle when I don't want to.
Supply run? Check. What else you got?
I put that fucking toolkit away. Yeah,
¿Qué pasó, vatos?
that's okay. Okay, so here, as you can see for the morale, they're timed morales, but in the positive. So, recent event infestation cleared, and recent kill horde. So those give you bonus morale for certain periods of time, which is good. So, helps benefit the community a little bit more. So something you can do is mods. So you get facility mods, and usually, like, for generators with fuel, you can give this power. You can do food storage, but must be in a kitchen, which means for that I'd have to come over here to the chef's kitchen. And I can actually put +5 storage for food on this. We're gonna upgrade the command center because I have a mod, facility mod, which is the radio antenna, which actually boosts your oh, did I not pick that up? Or did I not?
Orale.
Oh, I did. Okay, I just didn't put it in. It's like, what? Yeah, so that's the signal antenna, which gives you an extra outpost. So that's always good to have. So we will, once this finishes upgrading, we will actually put the antenna in, and then we can have a third outpost here. Not that we've used outposts yet, but we will here soon. So now it's dark, so but anyway, so this has been just over, what, 2 hours? 2 hours and what, 17 minutes, something like that. And it doesn't seem like we've done a lot, but in reality, we've managed to basically make our home stable. We've searched quite a bit around, got a decent amount of rucksacks that pertain to materials and other things. So we have to find more rucksacks for meds, obviously, but we're doing well so far. Soon, we're actually gonna start trying to we're gonna start selling a bunch of stuff where we can. But for now, so when it comes to building things on your base, things you really want are the workshop, the infirmary, a garden or a farm. You need a large slot for the farm, for the hydroponics. You'll need power, water, and knowledge of utilities for that one. But you really want the workshop, infirmary, and watchtower. Those are the 3 things you really want. Now, generator, rain collector, those are all really good, except with your outposts, you can actually get water and power. So, like water towers you can get for an outpost, and that's how I'll get water. And for down here, I believe, there's a power generator. I think here. I'm not sure where on this map. It's been a while. But then I'll get that as a outpost also. And that way we can keep slots on our base open while giving us A, power and water, and B, outposts around the map, which benefit you. So with outposts, you kind of want to space them out where are going to benefit you. So usually I put an outpost right here, right around here, so like right along here, along here, along here, and here, minimum. If my base is here, I'll put one up here, one here, one here, one here, maybe one here, but not really, because once I clear off this corner of the map, the only reason I come this way is if I'm driving down this road to either go this way or this way. So, but it also depends where your secondary base location is. So I usually wait for that before I start putting up outposts. But yeah.
Hey guys, we could really use a hand over here.
I'll be there with you before you know it.
Gracias, amigo.
So once you finish the first mission, you'll actually get the actually primary mission, which is a cure for all seasons. Now, we've done 2 hours and 20 minutes, 23 minutes of gameplay, and we have just finished the actual like beginning mission, which is build a workshop or infirmary. So, but we've set up pretty good, which means we have some food, some gas, some materials, and some ammo, which is good. Now we're missing meds, but that's okay. We'll find some more. But yeah, so if that doesn't show you how long it actually takes to set up a good community, at least for me, and this way you feel comfortable because you're finding your survey points, you're using them, you're unlocking the map, you're taking out infestations when they show up. So things like that. So but anyway, we're gonna stop here and we're gonna actually pick this up again later. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, follow, share. I'm gonna put my Discord channel in the messages so that you can join me and you can actually ask questions and things like that. So just thanks again, and it's always a pleasure helping out and explaining what you have to do, things like that. So, but thanks again, guys. So, Demon out.